Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome back to another episode of the Heart2Heart Podcast. Today, I am joined by a little bit of a legend. Not gonna lie, I'm glad to have him I want to say in the studio, but you live almost on the other side of I don't know, a continent, and makes it a little harder to get together. So we're gonna do it over Zoom. Now I'm
We
joined
can say it's
today.
in the studio. It's audio. We can
Yeah,
lie.
it's in the yeah, exactly. There's a little bit of a video on
There's a
YouTube,
good
but
smell in the studio. It's got
you
a
like
good
that?
aroma. I love it. Musky.
It's it's brand new carpet, nice and
That's what it
clean.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't smell like mothballs or your grandmother's closet. I'm
Yeah.
joined today by Gareth Reynolds. Okay, let's just do a little bit of a breakdown here. Okay, he's got two podcasts. We're Here to Help with Jake Johnson, the Dollop podcast with Dave Anthony. He has two specials out on YouTube: Gariffs Live Volume 1 and England, Weed, and the Rest. He's helped make TV shows on MTV, the Travel Channel, and Comedy Central, things like Arrested Development. You can find him in Melbourne, Australia at the Capitol on November 10th. You can find him at Northbridge, Australia at the Rishabite
What? I don't know how to say it. Go for it. That,
on
sure.
November 15th, and Adelaide, Australia at the Rhino Room on November 16th. There was two shows, one sold out now. So have an eye, hear him out, and he also has a pussy named Jose. So let's chat about it.
That's great. Well done.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. It's a pleasure to speak with you. Honestly,
Likewise.
it's just over probably the last 4 months, stumbled upon you. Just internet's full of things. So you happen to pop up on my feed, and I've been watching your stuff since. Saw you on Something's Burning. Been listening to a bunch of your podcasts with Jake Johnson. Reached out to Jake Johnson, not really expecting much of a response from him. And he reached out saying you should really interview Gareth. And I was like, I didn't even think to reach out to him. So this is
Yeah,
where
you
this all
reached out to the
landed.
big one. Got to go for those small fish. You can get the small fish.
Yeah, I always try and think of the Michael Jordan thing where you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I
Oh,
try and reach
yeah.
out to everyone.
Jake will surprise you with that.
He's a really
Truly.
nice guy.
Not only a nice guy, a hustler, a grinder. So he's out there. He's especially, I think that's part of, doing the podcast with him is he's yeah, I mean, he's willing to, get in the get in the paint and try to get the boards. He's a hustler.
And most of the people that you see come out of a TV show or something, you see them on like Something's Burning or other podcasts. They seem to be they're not their character. He's a lot like Nick.
It's so funny because I I mean, I like when the show was starting, I was like, man, I'm going to tune in every week to help my man out. And then it became a huge hit, and I was like, I mean, I don't really need to watch this anymore.
Yeah, this thing's doing just
But
fine.
I definitely think he had influence into the show because, I mean, it's him, in a lot of ways, absolutely.
And he was by far my most relatable character. Obviously, outside of there, he's a grinder. You don't become an actor and start doing the stuff that he's doing by sitting around like that character would have. But just his mannerisms and just his entire vibe, which I don't really use vibe. That's fucking wild. Anyway,
All
just him.
Safe space.
It's just
Yeah,
thank
totally.
you so much.
Yeah.
So I want to start from the very beginning with you. I want to go right down to the nitty gritty. Where did you grow up? How did this all begin? Were you a bad kid in school? Where does this all start?
It started in a small part of Milwaukee called Brown Deer, in Wisconsin. And I was raised by English people, my parents.
Wow.
And it was a very strange little childhood with very many fraught moments.
Nice.
And yeah, I was definitely a class clown. I think I was my heart was, I wasn't trying to ruin school, but I was trying to get laughs, and school kind of got in the way of that. And so, it became like my focus was far more on getting laughs, and that kind of ended up working for extracurricular stuff at school. But yeah, I was definitely not a good kid. Let's put it.
Did you do well, grades wise?
No.
Yeah,
And
me and you same.
I definitely focused more on what would be funny. And I was having I never wanted to go to school, but while I was there, I would be having a pretty good time until I was like, oh shit, now they're going to like test us. And all these motherfuckers who've been laughing are now going to they know what they're doing and I'm screwed,
Yeah. Yeah. They're about to think I'm on the scale, you know?
Yeah.
But what about like, did you take like drama? Did you do anything related to
Yeah.
like improv or anything around that?
Yeah, I did both. It all kind of like happened when I was going into high school. I mean, I tried out for plays and stuff like that, but and I always knew, I mean, just like since I was like really young, knew that
Yeah.
I wanted to be like kind of in front of an audience to some extent. And and so yeah, I like, in high school I started to get into the plays and I started two people really like kind of changed things for me. One was
Yeah.
a buddy of mine, but he was really like my friend's brother's friend.
Okay.
But he was like, you should start doing comedy sports, which was kind of like improv comedy in Milwaukee. And he told me to start doing it in high school. So I started doing that. And then I met a theater teacher, like our drama teacher. She was named Miss Woodard, and she was like, she was just like, you can do this. And nobody
That's
had
great.
ever said anything near that to me.
Yeah.
And so she really like coached me up and she got me to apply to colleges and then I ended up going to college for theater. So
Yeah.
yeah, it really that was where and then it was like I kind of just started to like um after that, then I started to get way more into improv and comedy on stage, but it really was like, theater was really what I went to college for.
I think that like it sucks because like I got out of high school and went to college, did the electrical route, and then got so into
What
like
went the electrical route? You mean you
I'm
went
a level
into
3 electrical apprentice.
you were an
So I was going
electrician,
to be an
right?
electrician. Yeah.
Which
So
is really tricky work.
it's funny
Like,
because you would have thought that I was going to maybe not go to prison, but like work at a Denny's for the rest of my life in high school. But then I went to
yeah,
school, went for electrical engineering technician. So it's not the same as going to university, but it was to get
uh-huh,
my level 1 and
yeah,
level 2 of electrical. And it was like going for something you actually fucking wanted to do was
yeah.
so much easier than doing all the courses. You're like, when the
I
fuck am I going to
know.
use
That's what I
algebra?
found with my stuff was I was like, it was like even now, like with what I do, there's focus on my career now because I'm like, I enjoy what I do.
100%
When I
makes it
was just
so
like
much
learning
easier.
like math and shit, but I worked construction for years. I mean, I was like low level, not good, and electricians were always the ones where you could pretty much like fudge any job. Like someone could be like, I can work on the plumb. Electrician people would be like, I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah, I'm not fucking around with
Literally.
that. But it's like you talk about doing theater and doing drama class and having a teacher that told you that you were great at it. Like in my school, like if you were in the drama, maybe it was the same for yours, but it just seems like it was so fucking frowned upon as like you were a fucking weird kid or you were out there or maybe on the other side of the fucking road. You know what I mean? And it made it harder to do it. You just wouldn't like as much as if you wanted to be an actor or a musician or whatever it may be. It seemed like the less cool way to go, and that sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I
sucks now that
think.
you're like when I'm out of school. It's like fuck. I wish I would have done that.
Well, I think I mean, it was like sports was what people like. Sports was what you're supposed to do, and
Yeah,
and I played sports for a while, but no, man, I was always inclined in this direction. Like it wasn't even really much of a choice. Like I just kind of was like, I just knew so early. Like I mean, I'm talking about like seriously, like 6 or 7 years, like 6 years old. I just remember I was in like we were doing like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and I was the baby bear. And which is hilarious to think that like at a 6 year old, like one of us was like, I'm the baby, and the other was like, I'm the adult man bear. Um, but I remember getting two big laughs, huge, yeah, and I was like, it just totally stuck with me. It was like muscle memory, like
that
I'll
feeling
never
you're like
forget
I'm
it.
gonna fucking get this back.
And I just was like, and it even when it wasn't like at the forefront of my mind, it was always what I always knew I wanted to go in this direction. So it was like kind of very lucky in a way because even when I got to high school, I was like, well, fuck. I mean, like I know what I want to do. I mean, I'm going to do this shit. So I didn't even think of it like in the like I was weird without theater, so it was just kind of like a
I
way to
get
be
that.
like my kind of weird.
Yeah, and like this is exactly why I like to talk to you like you, because it's so fucking relatable on such a different scale. Like the comedy you're doing, the podcast you're doing is such a different scale, but it's so fucking relatable because I have a hard time thinking like, how does everyone not crave that feeling of making a fucking room of people laugh? Like, I don't
Well,
understand it. Like, I don't understand why
I
people can be shy or not fucking say what comes to their mind right away and be like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
well, you know what's so funny is like when you look at social media, it's like in my career, I've gone from social media didn't exist to like everyone's on social media. And it has empowered, like, it's almost like the flip of that now, where now you see what is it like when everyone feels famous because of their phone. Like someone who has like
So true.
7 followers and makes a rant video in a parking lot about what needs to happen. Like in any other time, that would be like, I mean, that would be like problematic behavior, but we're like, no, that's what you do now, you know? So it's like, instead of now going, you know, it's the select few who want entertainment. You're like, oh no, fame is like craved by everybody for the most part.
Everybody.
And now you get to kind of watch it be enabled, and it's so weird to watch.
And it sucks because it's such a stupid fucking level of fame.
Oh
Like people
yeah.
just want to be TikTok famous. They just want someone to
Yeah.
know who they are
Yeah.
or get a deal with some fucking company to get makeup brushes for free or
Yeah.
something fucking stupid.
By the way,
Or
if
like
any makeup brush companies are, I'm fully available
reach
for
out.
any. Yeah, please reach out at Reynolds Gareth.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Sephora.
it's so true,
Sephora hit
man.
me up.
It's like it's just been like it's been real weird to watch. And then it's like if you're a stand-up, you know, how to work a room of people into laughter. And most people who are, whatever, famous from TikTok, or I mean, there's certainly some that are like totally competent and all that.
Oh
I'm saying,
yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
the vast majority, if you go, oh, he makes funny videos, well, go put him in a comedy club for a weekend for 5 shows, and like it'll be hell.
100%. It's theirs is like it reminded me of Vine. Vine was
Yeah,
6
totally.
seconds, and
Yeah.
all that you needed out of it as a person watching was a quick rush of dopamine, and then you were going to
Yeah.
the next video. It didn't fucking matter. You're on to the next one. Being able to sit there for I'm only doing 7 minute sets right now. I only just started doing stand up. But even doing like 7 minutes of trying to make people laugh is so much more pressure than making a 30-second fucking video that you can edit and redo a million times till you know you're going to get it right.
Well, they also, like, when Vine was hitting, those people were starting to get like deals, like TV show deals and
Yeah.
shit. And it was, and they didn't go anywhere. Like, there was also like she's actually become a bit of a like lightning rod, and for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know if it's gender based or whatever, but Sarah Cooper, who did the Trump impressions, she kind of hit during like the pandemic. It's like, those are, it is a different format to traditional entertainment. It's certainly a form of entertainment, but when you try to monetize it in a way where you go, okay, well, how does this translate into stage time or a
Yeah.
TV show?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much more work that has to go into that level of entertainment. And yeah, like when you're first starting, man, you like, I mean, 7 minutes is like daunting. I mean, I remember it all the time. I remember all the time going through the brutality of trying to crack my first set. And I always think about it. I mean, that's why whenever I go do shows, if like someone want like whatever, so like a busboy who works at the whatever wants to do 5 minutes, I'm like, fuck yeah, because it's so different to do 5 to 10 minutes in front of an audience versus an open mic. It's
Yeah.
but it
I
is.
got
It's like it really is. That's the correlation. You got to do those 7 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and 20 minutes, and 30 minutes, and then you're not even good yet. You're just getting tired. I mean, it's a
100%.
long slog.
And I as crazy new as I am to it, I've done 3 open mics, have another one next week, trying to do them as back to back to back to back as I
You're
can.
getting 7 minutes at those?
Yeah, all the ones that I've
That's
ever been
great
to here are
time.
7.5 minutes.
That's
Is
great.
your time. So the first one, my heart was in my ass. Second one, heart in my ass. Like fucking days ahead, I'm fucking freaking out in my head. I'm like, don't be a fucking loser. Be a fucking winner. Make people fucking laugh. And then you get there and you're on stage and you're a couple minutes deep, and then you're just fucking, it's so funny to say as a guy who's done it 3 times. You're in your moment of trying to take all your material and dish it out there. And it's a
Yeah.
feeling that you can't. I don't give a fuck if I bomb. It is not a feeling. It's a feeling that you get off the stage, and maybe I'm the only one that gets, or not the only one. Maybe it's few people that get the wanting to get right back on after you've bombed, but that fucking feeling of how much adrenaline you get getting up on that stage is a fucking hard thing to mimic.
Oh yeah, it's addictive. I mean, it would be
It's addictive.
lunacy. It's lunacy if you really think about it, because you're going up there and you're doing a new thing that you're not good at in front of stranger. I mean, it's like lunacy. It's a sucker for punishment sort of situation. But I also think that, like, I would rather get on stage right away after a bomb than after a murder.
Yeah.
You know, a murder, you're like, I feel good, whatever. Oh, I gotta go fucking
Good
whatever,
day.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
You bomb, you're like, I want that taste out
give
of
me
my
it back.
mouth. I want to go. I want to restart.
give me
I want
another
to
go.
change things. I know I'm better than that. All that shit.
Yeah. Well, let's flash back into getting to know you, because I could talk about the stand-up stuff all fucking the whole episode. Did you grow up with a big family?
No, pretty small. It was my mother, my father, my brother who was 12 years older, and me. And they were all English citizens. I was the first generation American. And like my whole family, like not even just mother and father, like my whole family is English. So small family, and in many ways, like I was an only child because my brother was 12 years older. So, you know, by the time I was 6, he was, I mean, 6, by the time I was like 5, he was, you know, partying. So, you know, it was different. He was still an awesome brother. I mean,
yeah.
It's pretty still sick is,
when
but,
you're like 16, 17, 18, your brother's.
Yeah, but I mean, he was like playing guitar, smoking weed, and I was like, did you see that? The Smurfs, you know. So
I ate a crayon today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would be like, I thought we could have lemonade outside. He was like, I'm gonna go get laid. So I was like, I don't understand the premise.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty small, pretty self-contained, you know.
Dual citizenship. Assuming?
Yes, but later I got that within the last like 8 years. But so yeah, but I mean well, dude, I was like, yeah, you know what? You might want a backup plan. Not to say that the UK is doing great by any stretch.
Here, I fucking head straight over the neighbors, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, I split my childhood so much between both countries because my mother loved going back to see her family.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like getting to see both cultures and know both. Sounds fucking stupid, but just so much opportunity. I fucking went to Buffalo when I was, but like that's the only place I had traveled to till like fucking 2 years ago. I saw Buffalo.
Buffalo's a good town.
Yeah, I saw the Bills, so that was pretty sick. But like, you see the rest of the world, and you're like, Buffalo, like really? I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Well, you also when you I've been going back and forth to England long enough where it's like America's like put its boot up England's at. Like England has become so much. I mean, all Europe has, but England really has become so much more American.
Yeah, seems like definitely a suit to fall. Like I'm in Canada, so
yeah.
They've been following the fucking U.S. for ever. So
yeah,
very similar. But we've been traveling the States. Just got back from L.A. like 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That was fucking cool. Is that where you're out of?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it was cool to see. It's fucking land of opportunity. It's a wild place to be.
It's huge. People don't understand how big it is.
No,
it's like ridiculous.
We drove from San Diego to Los Angeles, and we were down there, and wife was at a conference at the Crypto Arena for the weekend, so I was just fucking gallivanting and went and did a podcast with Halston Ray. Bert's producer.
Wait, what a bad thing to name it Crypto Arena. That is such a, it's like Vape Stadium. It really is just like, you like should have a little more. Yeah. I mean, you may as well call it like, you know, the Vine Center.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to die soon. Did you play sports? You said you played sports growing up. What was the sport?
Soccer.
What was your go-to? Soccer?
Soccer, yeah. It was mainly soccer.
You still watch it?
Yeah. I mean, mainly the World Cup. I'll mainly watch either women's or men's World Cup. American football is the sport I watch more than anything. But I
was placing some bets right before you got on here.
Yeah, who are you liking?
I'm betting Jacksonville tonight for sure.
How did you? I completely forgot there's a game. Yeah.
I
fucked you with the game.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good. Sunday's my day. I fucking find that couch.
Sunday's
anyone
better.
comes near me, like fuck off.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Your wife's like, that's a horrible attitude. Just don't
She's like,
touch
"Where's
daddy.
Taylor Swift?" No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that. I'd be upset. Um, okay, so soccer's your sport. My fucking brother-in-law wakes up at 7 a.m. every Sunday to watch. I want to say Manchester. It's not. Um, I'm not gonna say it right. He's gonna be fucking upset. Anyway, doesn't matter. Liverpool
I was gonna
wakes
guess
up
Liverpool. Interesting.
wakes up and watches that every single Sunday. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
we even doing here? Like, it's such a big sport everywhere else. Like,
Oh yeah. My brother's
it,
like that. But when I was in the UK a few weeks ago, not even, um, the Packers played, I think, just one primetime game, but you better believe I was up till 3:30 watching. You
well,
know
they were
what I
just in
mean?
England. Jacksonville
Packers
had
weren't,
2
no.
games.
Jacksonville had 2. Buffalo had
Yeah.
1.
Buffalo played 1 against them. Colts was 1
Uh
against them, I think.
yeah,
I
and I
can't
can't
remember who else
remember.
played
But
there.
their plan is to open up a division there, a
That's cool.
4-team division. It's
To
just crazy.
face?
Yeah, like an AFC, like whatever,
Shit.
Northwest or whatever. Yeah, they're getting fucking nuts.
Okay. Sounds
Roger
fun. Do
Goodell
they
needs
still
to be
call it
stopped.
football over there?
They do. They call it American
Wow.
football.
Okay. All right. Were you good at soccer?
I was uh good. I was in this position where I was good enough to play on like select teams,
Nice.
but on those teams I was one of the worst players. So when I would go
Oh,
play
what up?
rec, when I go play rec, I would be like phenomenal, and then
Yeah,
I'd
you
go to
guys
these bigger
suck.
teams, and I would be like, a guy would be like, "Can I maybe go in?" You know, it'd be
Yeah.
like that.
We're
So
winning 17-0. I'd really like a chance.
yeah, yeah. And then I played hockey too. I played hockey for probably like 12 years or something like that.
I played hockey and baseball, mediocre at both. Definitely
I
a
was
house league.
mediocre. Yeah.
I was a house league goalie.
Oh
Do you
wow.
call it house league? Like,
No, is
like
that not just
that's like the lowest level? Like, just like everyone who signs up to play the sport gets to play that?
that's what I basically that we called that like the C team.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
I like house team is better. It's
Yeah, we're
nicer.
house league. Yeah, it's much
Yeah, it's sort of
nicer.
like
More
the dressing we recommend.
Yeah.
The shitty wine, but you're like, it's the house red. Yeah.
It's not bad. Like, it goes down, gets you
It's
drunk. You'll
got
have
booze in
fun.
it,
You'll
and
have
it'll get the
fun.
job done. You're not
Yeah,
gonna enjoy it, but
exactly.
it'll get the job done.
Yeah, but I was the same way when it came to baseball as you to soccer. I played rep or travel, whatever you call it over there, and I played in all the games because the teams aren't as big as soccer, but definitely I couldn't hit a fucking beach ball to save my life. So
Yeah, that's a better sport.
you like baseball?
No, I mean beach ball baseball. I'd watch that.
Okay. I'd be able to hit that, so that'd be sick.
Yeah,
I'd be
that's what
fucking
I'm saying.
decent.
I'd be I mean it's different.
So obviously you started off going to drama, doing all these things. Where did comedy start? Like, when did you start doing open mics or amateur nights?
Well, it's so weird because it's very non-traditional. Basically I was doing a lot of improv
Yep.
and a lot of sketch comedy. And I really was trying to avoid doing stand-up. I just, for all the reasons we sort of talked about earlier, I was like, man, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to fucking go bomb. And
You're alone.
yeah, and it's just like, it's a lot of it's just a lot of solo. It was very daunting to me.
Yeah.
I did, however, make friends who were stand-ups. Like I did a TV show that was horrible, but I met Steve Byrne, who was a guy who was like one of the most generous dudes in comedy. I would see him do this to other people, but he did it to me. He was like, you need to be doing stand-up. He just was like, you have to be doing it. You will murder at it, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So he really gave me some opportunities to just kind of get in front of an audience, do smaller, shorter sets in real rooms. And I did that. And he was basically like, look, if you get 10 minutes, you can come on the road and MC for me. So I had that in my back pocket.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, but I still was like, I didn't have 10 minutes. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do it. So then I ended up selling a show to MTV that was gonna take place in New York and was gonna have like comedians on the panel. And through that, I met Chris DiStefano, and he was like on the pilot episode of the show, and we just kept in touch, and we were buddies, and we'd go back and forth. And I'm saying, man, you're gonna be all over the show if it gets picked up. Well, it got picked up, and then he was also like, look, you have a show that features comedians. You can get on any open mic show in New York. So he, myself, and this other guy, Mike Cannon, they'd already been doing it, but they kind of just ingratiated me into it. So I was probably about 30 years old. I'm 43 now. So it's probably about 30 years old. And I really started hitting mics with them. And that's when I started going, okay, I do have time. I have 10, I have 15 minutes and all that. And I just got better and better. And I was making buddies with like, many, like, I mean, Akash Singh was this dude who I fucking think is just so, I just was like, we got along so well, so early.
Yeah, yeah.
So all these people that I was just like are so funny, and I felt like a fucking comedian. And then I came back to LA after the year away, and I say to Byrne, I go, hey, I got the 10 minutes, and he wanted help writing a feature, so a feature film. So I went on the road with him. We would write a movie. I would help him with that, and he would sort of trade that with me by having me MC. Eventually, I went to the feature spot. And then he really was the one who I would just open for him a lot. Any dates I really wanted, he would give me the feature spot. And for people who don't know, it goes MC headline, MC feature headliner. And so I was able to do 20, 25 minutes a show on average. And I mean, that just like launched me into like, okay, I have time and all this stuff. So that was really how I kind of got started into it. But it wasn't until that New York thing where I really started like hitting the mics with real unknown but future known comedians that I was really going, okay, this is it, But it was later. I started late.
How long did it take you? First off, incredible, because everyone can only hope doing stand up that, because there's a fucking lot of people going after it to be a stand up comedian, doing open mics, grinding, doing the thing. And I think there's a lot of comedians out there that are very good that don't care about the social media side of things. They're really good in their local clubs and will never see anything farther than that because it takes a long time and a lot of hype to get anyone bigger. But to have someone like that do that for you, and obviously not just give it to you, you obviously showed him how fucking funny you are, but that fucking changes someone's entire career.
He totally changed my career. I mean, without
Fucking
question,
incredible.
like Steve Byrne, without question, changed my career. There are a few people who've done that, but Byrne, there's a real ripple effect from me meeting him. Him telling me I had to do it and making it easy for me allowed me to do it, because like you're saying, I mean, it takes a little bit of madness to do it already.
100%.
But he helped me. He really helped me.
It
He's
obviously
definitely
takes you being a funny individual and being
and
good
a
at what you're
Fundian,
doing.
which is what Akash is. He's a Fundian.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes like not necessarily needs to happen this way, but to get surrounded by people like that are fucking willing to boost you up and know that you're fucking good and put you on spots and help you grow. Like that's fucking cool. Like I'm only doing like local, like I do like levity comedy. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's in
Yeah,
Hamilton.
of course.
That's where
Yeah,
I've been doing my spots.
Levity's got a bunch of great clubs. Yeah.
And that's the one I'm doing out of Hamilton. And like even like the older guys that have been doing this for fucking probably as long as I've been alive pull me aside at the end, like saying, like, you got to keep doing this, like keep doing this, like keep working at it, like you're good, like you're confident, you don't pause, you don't fucking leave the act and say like, oh, that fucking was funny when I said it out loud, like stupid shit like that. Like little notes like that from someone experienced, like even if he's not a fucking celebrity or whatever the hell people want to hear from, he was funny as fuck. He made me laugh and he fucking was confident to me after, and it meant the fucking world. You don't realize how much it's gonna help a younger comedian when
No,
you watch them and give them that
the,
feedback.
the people who have been extremely giving and gracious to me, like always does stick with me. And, you pay that forward. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to, a lot of people in comedy, they're born on third and they act like they hit a triple. There's a lot of that, there's
Yeah.
also a lot of people who grinded and who have been given guest spots on shows and who have been offered features. So, it's really important to remember that always. It takes so little to be gracious and nice, in every way.
100%.
But in comedy, it's so easy. I mean, especially when you're doing what I'm doing. When you go on the road and you headline clubs, like you're talking about
It's fucking
people
awesome.
treat you really well. Doesn't take much to just give it back a little bit, make sure the servers are taken care of, make sure if someone there wants a guest spot, they got it, or whatever it is. It takes so little.
What you're doing is definitely like my overall dream. Obviously, a podcast, like you said, everyone has to get into social media. If you're wanting to do anything in the creative space, like this is how you show people who the hell you are, because they're not looking you up in a fucking newspaper or going to the nearest club to see you. Like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it, or X. This all helps. Like this is what I do this to interview comedians, get information, because it's kind of fucking weird to reach out to people and be like, hey, like, do you want to fucking chat for like an hour on a
Yeah.
fucking webcam and not
Yeah.
record it? So
Yeah.
it means a lot. Like it's awesome to hear from you, because you're doing exactly what I hope I get to someday, is just to headline shows and travel and do fucking podcasts. And you did Something's Burning with one of my two favorite comedians in the fucking planet, and it was hilarious. Like you fucking crushed it. You're definitely meant to be on two podcasts, because you fucking keep the conversation going non fucking stop.
Well, it's funny because, Bert is Bert did our we're here to help yesterday.
Nice.
And and I was texting with his assistant, who's a great dude named Pete. And
Yeah, he's in all his videos.
yeah, Pete's just the man, and such a good guy. So is Bert. I mean, but Bert's
Yeah.
Bert's like the president, so it's like, you don't want to bother him too much. But what I said to Pete is, I'm like, he was born for this. It's a new era of entertainment and how you do it, and Bert was born for this.
Yeah,
He
100%.
has
Oh my God,
all
so
the abilities to make people want to watch him, which is what has always been the goal of
that's what
comedy.
pays. That's what pays.
Yeah,
That's what
it.
pays for ad revenue and fucking monetization. Like getting people to sit there and watch them. And like you open
Getting
his
people
stories,
out
you
to
feel
your
like you're watching a
shows.
fucking movie. Like
Yeah, well, and I went on I did some shows with him, and he's doing he does the place where the sports team plays, which is
it's
just
fucked.
so like you're on a tour bus, and then the tour bus basically parks in the guts of the Timberwolves arena. And you just like wake up, you get off the tour bus, and you're like, I'm inside of where the Timberwolves play. You're taking a shower in the like the shower is almost like when I was in there, I was like, this is for sure the smallest dick that's ever been in the smallest non-coach dick that's ever been in these showers. Like
and I was
is
hard
just,
too. Like it didn't
and
make
I was
any sense.
doing everything I can to be like have a respectable girth. And
smacked it for 5 fucking minutes before getting in that shower, and I was still little.
And that is what Bert has done. So I think that too. When I sit around Bert, I mean, you always are going to be motivated by someone above you, and there's always going to be someone above you. Bert has it, I have it, you have it, Jake has it. Anyone in this business always is like, oh, I wish I had that. But Bert has someone like that. And for us, we're like, how the fuck is Bert? I don't know who it is, but there's definitely someone that Bert's like, that guy's
probably Tom.
Yeah, it is Tom. No, I don't know.
That's my favorite comedian. I hope you do Your Mom's House someday. I watch that.
Yeah. I'm doing Christina's podcast in December, so I'm gonna go
where
to
my
there
mom's
and do
at.
Yeah.
Fucking right. You're gonna see that fucking studio.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal a lot of shit too.
You should take every fucking ounce of it.
It's
gone.
I'm stealing Tom, whether they like it or not.
Take him.
I'm coming
take
back
his
with
glove.
Tom.
He used to wear this fucking glove on his hand for a podcast.
I'm taking it. Yeah.
I got a picture of him sitting right next to me, signed from when he came to Canada. That's my fucking motivation. That's my little fucking Jesus picture on the wall. Do you have kids, wife, house?
Nope. Cat. One cat.
Oh yeah, you have Jose. It's right in your bio.
I have a cat. That's my commitment level. I have one cat.
You like being solo?
I do, yeah. I mean, it's my my work has, I mean, I want to like slow down with how much I've gone and how much I do right now, but also recognize the importance of like, while there's something going on, go for it.
Hard to balance that.
Yeah, so I think it would be very difficult to balance it all. I certainly over the years have done it and tried it, and I'm one of those guys who's like really, I'm comfortable alone, but I'm not like married to being alone, but I'm not going to get married. So
good for you.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, I am happy with what I have. I'm like, it's a fucking grind, but
the amount you're moving along, like my wife's fucking 55 feet from me, and fucking if she just left I would do some wild shit. Like, I would
Yeah. How
be.
long you been married?
I got married a year ago in August.
How long were you together?
6 years.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
we've been
See, I
together for
mean,
7. Which, like, it's a different thing, right? Like, you started young doing comedy, like, or going after comedy, and now you're a fucking traveling comic. I can't imagine first off, if I was traveling comedian, I would not be fucking settling down. I say that now. You've probably done
yeah.
it for long enough now. You're like, okay, eventually you want to fucking be at home on nights and hang out with your fucking cat and jerk off and eat fucking chips on the couch. But sometimes,
Not in that order. I'll eat the chips, then whack. But go ahead.
good call.
I'm not making homemade dips.
Not a fucking fun dip, buddy. We're not doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
of a good. But no, I completely understand it. Like, you're fucking all over the place. I can't imagine how hard it'd be to fucking balance going on dates and doing that when you're fucking traveling all the time and you're fucking getting your dick hard in the Timberwolves arena. Like, makes it kind of hard to answer your
Trying
text
to.
messages.
Yeah, I mean, I think you go through all the iterations. I mean, when you do it long enough, look, you have the phase where, yeah, you are just like a fuck boy. I mean, I definitely
God,
have.
that sounds fun.
It is fun. It is no joke fun. It's weird because it starts to want the more that it's like this, right? Like, so the more success you get, kind of the more professional you have to be about stuff. And that kind of eliminates the time you have to have fun. And so
Okay.
it's almost like the reason you got into comedy was to get drunk with your buddies, bum cigarettes from weirdos, and try to fuck whichever gender or whatever you're
Whatever's
into.
there.
And
Really.
and and then the more that you get access to that existence that got you into it, the less you can really partake in it because you have to be healthy for shows. And
Yeah.
my road life, when I do these runs now, I mean, I'll go do, 15 a 15 show run over, 17 days or 16 days. I mean, there
Good
is
for you.
no room for fucking around when you're doing that. And so, you really do. You're like,
That it really does separate the profession side of it, though. Like, that's what takes someone to get to your level and to be able to travel and do that. Like, you get there, you get set up, you're in your fucking head, you're going through your shit, you're making sure you're putting on a good show for those that are paying to come and do it, not fucking around. But all I heard in the last thing you said was fucking bumming darts off people. God, I
oh
fucking
yeah,
miss cigarettes so much.
so do I.
I loved
I
them.
so do I. I
God, I loved
really.
them.
If they announced that there was a meteor headed for Earth, I
Oh,
would go buy a pack of
ain't
Marlboro
darling.
mediums. I'd
Oh,
probably get sick. My last like 24 hours of meteor time
whatever.
would be being like, my throat hurts. But I would go buy cigarettes.
I will make myself throw up.
I even went through the vape phase where I had
I did
all
too.
the ridiculousness of the box vape that
Oh
looks
yeah,
like
big cloud. Oh fuck, was I puffing clouds,
the
dude?
like Plume Daddy,
Oh yeah.
and then the Jewel. Love that. My voice just couldn't take it. I
Yeah.
could not do what I wanted to do on stage. And then the worst fucking part is I eventually stopped smoking weed. I used to bring weed on the road with me and do one hitters like a fucking bandit. And then I eventually was like, I can't even really smoke weed. My voice, I had to chew. I mean, I talk so much for what I do now that I'm like, it just,
Yeah,
all the
it's true.
fun left the building. When I go do my podcast, The Dollop, we'll go do tours. I can have some fun then. But if I go do a stand-up run, it's like, man, I'm like, nope,
God,
nothing.
fucking
I'm snacking on celery, pathetic piece of shit.
My God.
Yeah,
Eating
it's
like
sad.
a bunny and not smoking
Yeah.
cigarettes. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Horrible. Going to bed, like drinking bedtime teas.
Hey, now you're just trying to you're starting to, it sounded like
Your wife hired me to get you to stop doing stand-up.
Hey, can you please do a fucking podcast with him? Tell him quit smoking, eat celery,
tell him how bad
ruin
it
your
is.
entire fucking life.
Salad, no dressing, my man.
That's fucked.
Go, Gregory.
How did the podcast start with Jake and with Dave Anthony? How did these both start? I know you've been doing the Dave Anthony, like the Dollop podcast, longer, but
yeah,
how did they, like, you guys just met, started riffing?
The Dollop started almost 10 years ago, and it basically started because a guy who I met through Steve Byrne, he was like, come on my podcast. I'd never done a podcast before. Yep. I went on his podcast, It was with like it was early, so it was like Death Squad was the name of the network, which was like Brian Redband, Joe Rogan was on it at the time, and
Fucking right.
and so, and then I did it once, and he was like, "Man, if you want to come in every week, like we have good banter." He's like, "If you want to," I was like, "Yeah." So I started doing it every week. I was on the show, and it was a totally insane show. It was called The Naughty Show. It was Sam Tripoli's show, and it was
Nice.
just like it was like porn stars, and it was his world, and I was just like a bench player. He was the point guard, and I was just like, I'm open.
You
Um,
throw it. You throw it. I'm gonna
yeah.
fucking catch it.
Through that, I met Dave Anthony. Dave was a guest on the show, and Dave and I just hit it off. And
That's awesome.
the producer who set it up, this woman named Vicky Pezza, she basically was like, "You should hit up Dave and guest host his other podcast." So I started hitting Dave up. I eventually guest hosted his other podcast a couple times.
Yeah.
The third time I went into guest hosted, he was like, "I actually have this different one. It's called The Dollop," and he was going to rotate comedians. And it was just basically a history show. It was like, I'm going to explain something. We're going to talk about it, whatever. And we just started doing it. We had a good time. So he had me back for the second one. And then he was just kind of like, I think this works. So we just kind of kept the format, me and him. And then that totally changed my career. I mean, it really did. It like, it hit big pretty soon.
Starting a podcast 10 years ago, you guys were fucking ahead of the scale.
Even then we were a little behind, but now, I mean, fuck, were we ahead of
Fuck.
it? I mean,
You're drowned in them now. Like
Yes.
I know I'm fucking one of them, but like,
yeah,
holy shit, you could fucking watch a podcast just about fucking toenails right now if you fucking wanted to. There's fucking thousands of them.
that's the next one I'm doing. But
Guy sells feet pics.
yeah. So we started that, and what and so that was and then he's become a good friend of mine since then, and that podcast has gone everywhere, and we toured it all over the place. So I've been doing podcasts for a while, and Jake and I have been friends for close to 20 years.
Wow.
And I just saw Jake's career take off, and obviously was fucking happy for him. Kept in touch. I mean, we'd text a shitload about football. I worked on some stuff with him. He would, if he had gigs, he would bring me in to help write them and shit like that. And so,
cool.
but we always just got along. We always not only got along, but we were always like making each other laugh a lot. And so, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half ago, I had just kind of started talking about the idea of like a radio call-in show where you keep the people on the line and you interview them and they have problems. And I just kept thinking of like Frasier, but a podcast. Like that was kind of like what it was. And I've since learned that like, there's many advice podcasts and stuff like that. But I just thought Jake and I together, what we always did together was we gave each other advice. Maybe wrong advice, maybe good advice, but we always would do that with each other.
Friends
we would like go on hikes and be like, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what you should do, or whatever. And he's just such a shit talker, and he's so funny. So I just said to him, I just go, look, if you ever want to do a podcast, I have the format for us. And he thought about it, and he was like thinking about it. Then he wasn't going to do it. And then we hung out one day. We went and just, hung out, and his daughters were in the park, and we just kind of shot the shit for a few hours. And then after that, we just really started talking about doing it. And then we just did a few to test it out. And we just right away were like, this is a good fit for us. And then we just said, let's fucking go. And he's the kind of guy that if he's going to do something, he has to make sure he wants to do something, because if he's going to do it, he's going to go full
That's
in.
awesome.
And so, yeah, that's basically how that started,
He's on my list. He's on my list of interviewing someday. I'm gonna fucking reach out to that guy.
I'm sure you'll get him. Yeah.
He's a great dude. Like I don't fucking know him like you do, obviously 20 years, but just his response, his banter back and forth, like he's fucking sounds like a good guy.
Well, when you watch someone become really famous, and them before, it's really kind of a fucking crazy thing, like
I don't know how you do that.
It's weird. It's like you and
does it change for you because like of how much success you've had too? I understand, like you'd said, there's people at all different levels. You're a fucking traveling headlining comic doing fucking massive comedians podcasts. not this one, if anyone's wondering. But does it not like? Does it still feel weird to you? Like, imagine being someone who went to high school and they called him a fucking douchebag, and now you see him on fucking TV. Sucks to be that guy.
Well, it's so interesting because it is a bit of like, I mean, I think this is what I do sometimes. I'll go, imagine telling you in high school you're doing X or whatever. Not X. Fucking Elon Musk ruined X as like an example holder.
Yeah.
But imagine you're doing Y.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that would be fucking incredible. With that all said, I still am very much, I don't think about anything that I've done. I think about what I'm doing and what I want to do. And so, I would say I have a deficiency in going, hey man, good job. I really don't. I just go, okay, that happened. It's done. When I'm
On to
done
the
with
next thing.
something, I'm done with something. Yeah. It's not
100%.
for me anymore,
I think that is a mindset of someone that wants fucking everything. Like, not in a weird way to say everything, but like want so much. Like, just wants the success, the drive, the going for the next thing. Cause I'm the same fucking way. I get shit on all the time on my wife, my fucking therapist, my shrink, my fucking mom.
Your therapist is shitting on you?
He's a fucking dick sometimes, but he'll tell me like, you need to like sit down and realize what you've done. You need to be proud of yourself. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm going to the fucking next thing, Daryl. Why don't you get the fuck out of my way?
Yeah, fuck you,
Like,
Daryl.
yeah, fuck you, Daryl. Eat salad without fucking salad dressing, you dickhead.
Yeah,
he's the
you
worst.
prick.
When
I was like I said, I've wanted to do this forever, and I used to have an obsession with the Hard Rock Cafe, and and one time I don't know why, you're just a fucking idiot
I just said,
kid.
yep, not realizing
Yep.
you had an obsession with the Hard Rock. That's so
Yep,
funny.
super normal.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And very cool. I'm a cool kid.
You're pretty cool.
And I bought this fucking thing called a hurricane glass. And it's just like a big glass. I didn't even know what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But I remember I said to myself, I go, when I'm successful, I'm going to have a drink out of that thing. That's like seriously, 14, 15 years old. I'm like, I'm going to drink
Good
out
for
of that
you.
thing to celebrate.
Getting
And
right.
then I was moving, and my friend who was helping me move, she was like, what is this? This is probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
She goes, what is this? And I go, oh, it's this hurricane glass I bought from the Hard Rock Cafe. And she goes, why haven't you? And it's still in the cardboard. She goes, why haven't you ever opened it? I go, oh, I made this deal with myself that I wouldn't drink out of it until I'm successful. And she was like, and you haven't drank out of it yet? And I was like, no. And she's like, you don't feel like you're successful? And I was like, no.
Good for you. Like, I know it's
and
like,
I just,
it seems like too hard on yourself, which a lot of people will
too
think,
hard rock on myself.
That's where it came from. That's what keeping you going. The second you drink out of that cup, you're gonna become a fucking loser real quick.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna ruin your entire fucking life.
Well, it's gonna be a daiquiri, so right away it's not gonna be good.
Daiquiri and a salad with no fucking sauce.
Yeah,
you deserve to be canceled.
A virgin daiquiri, not gonna be good.
But it is that like it's that fucking achievement that you're fucking still not ready to say that you've done, which is good for you. Because like you are successful. You have a fucking great podcast with 2 great comedians. You've been on great fucking podcasts. You travel. You're going to fucking Australia, dude. Like, what do you need? What do you want? What's your fucking goal? What's the like be all end all? You need a Netflix special? You need to sell out Timberwolves Arena?
I think you want to just, to be able to like feel real comfort. I think the part of the thing with this business is that, there's very little security in it, and knowing that makes it always feel like it's kind of fleeting a little bit. And so
you hear that from the biggest comedians still.
Oh yeah.
Like I listen to so many other podcasts
and
like they always feel like they're
and it's true. I mean, think about it. Think about huge comedians and how they drop. They do. Yeah. So I want that. I want the security for a while where I can I hate the government, and I wish we didn't live and die by who has the most money. I feel like that being the evaluator of who you are and your level of happiness and how happy your people around you are. And always fucking drives me crazy when I see people buy their mom a house or a car, and we're supposed to be like, oh, what a joy. I mean, it's a great thing they did, but they have fucking money. I think it's fucking bullshit.
Bro, it makes everyone else miserable. You know how many fucking friends I have that don't make good money, but show as if they make good money? I've been around groups, not anymore, but groups of like 7, 8 people that all when they're together, it's about spending the money, covering the bill, wearing Lululemon and Adidas shoes and driving a nice vehicle and living in a nice home. And they're strapped and fucking miserable when they get home. Like they're just all their life is trying to fucking make everyone think that they're fucking successful, and it's pathetic. It sucks.
So I abhor that system. I really do. It is a prison we're born into, and I think it's bullshit.
100%. It is bullshit.
That being said,
it's hard not to be in it.
To be able to take care of those around you that need help, and to be able to take care of, you know, people and places, and, you know, whatever my, you know, the interests I have of places, charities and things that need help, to be able to do that, to me, would add a lot of value to being able to feel the value in what I do. And if I can get to that extension, that will give me a level of pride and security. And that's really all I want.
I think you're a real nice guy.
Well, I think most people do that. I think most people, you know, say, I want to help those around me, and I want to help. There's a lot of shit that needs help. And so I think to be able to do that.
Fuck the poor people. Like what? Just let them be poor. Like,
yeah, see, I am someone who's like, I want to use my money to like overthrow the institutions that make people feel misery. And it's really weird to say I want to use money to take away the misery that money causes. But to some extent, that's what I would like to do.
I have the same thing, like the charity thing, like being able to like get to the point where like you always think, I don't know if you've ever thought like this. I don't know why I said you always think, but have that mindset where it's like, sometimes I feel like it's not for the good. Like, am I donating for the good, or for the fact of making myself feel good? Like, do I give a fuck what people are going to get what I'm giving them? Or am I just like, I feel good today, I'm going to go eat.
You know, some charities I donate to, I think I have some here. Like, yeah, like this Wildlife Foundation, the National Wildlife Federation. They give you, well, I won't show you my address, but they give you return address stickers. That is the best way to get me to keep donating to your charity. If you keep sending me return address stickers that have my name and address on them, that I can put on envelopes when I'm sending stuff off, I'm probably going to donate for the rest of my life.
That's convenient as fuck.
They're ripping me off if you look at it as a transaction. But I'm like, I started donating, and they're like, here's some stuff to make mailing things way easier. And I'm like, you got a fucking deal. Yeah, and I get to save polar bears. Let's fucking party.
I hate licking the envelope, writing my fucking address on it, and putting that
writing my address in the corner. It drives me out of my fucking mind.
Oh, fuck. Man, that's hilarious. You're a funny fucking dude, and I really, really appreciate you doing this podcast today. You don't have any idea what it means.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's some fucking little small town Canadian who fucking misses smoking cigarettes. But I got one question to just take us out of the podcast, all right?
Sure.
Pants before socks or socks after?
Socks after.
Thank the goddamn Lord above.
I can't imagine doing it the other way.
With no dressing. You know,
yeah, no, there's a lot of red flags on me, but I'm not a serial killer. Yeah, no, it's pants.
I'm waiting for the one guy that says you put on your socks before your pants.
Makes no sense.
I'm like, what the fuck are you even doing?
Socks are just last.
Last.
Yes,
I'll walk around with no fucking socks on before.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Yeah,
I'll sometimes go shoes without socks. It's not a good look. Nobody likes it.
Weird.
Yeah, it's not normal. All right, you jump ship,
Crocs,
but okay.
Crocs, fine.
I have a pair of Crocs.
Good for you. What kind? Color?
Red boys. Red babies, my red babies.
My red babies, my little fucking. Have you seen the ones that now are in the shape of cowboy boots?
No, what?
Well, I'm not just saying. You know, you're from fucking hunting land. You might need some of them. You know,
it feels like they finally made the shoe with less purpose than original Crocs, which is hard to top.
You know, you can cover your ankles in the top half of your cap. It fucking leaks, so don't take them out in the water. But anyway,
what's the point of boots? To stay dry. What do these do? None of that.
Yeah, you get a nice breeze, but you still look fucking cool. And they're like materialed like fake snake skin. Oh, it's just a fucking. I don't know how they created such a goddamn.
Should be Croc skin.
Ugly fucking shoes.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah, it probably is. You know,
there you go.
Didn't take much, but I really appreciate you, Gareth. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Everyone,
thank you, man.
Check him out. Find him everywhere on social media under Gareth Reynolds. Go to his
Reynolds
YouTube
Gareth.
page.
Gareth Reynolds beat me to it. He's this Welsh guy. At Reynolds Gareth.
Fuck him. Go block Gareth Reynolds and then go follow Reynolds _ Gareth.
No underscore. Quit adding spices to the pie, bud.
All right, sorry. Reynolds.Gareth.
God damn son of a bitch.
Follow Reynolds, Gareth, and go watch both of his specials on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. Go check him out. Check him out on Something's Burning and Coming Up on Your Mom's House. Thank you so much, Gareth. I hope
Thank
all
you,
the
man.
best to you and your cat, Jose.
Likewise, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Have a great night.
I love you.